whether you're being tracked down or attempting to avoid hostile interaction. There are times in DayZ where you have no alternative but to survive on the land homeless like anyone who recently invested in cryptocurrency. And here I'll help you do just that. If you liked the video, please leave a like or a subscribe, it really helps me out. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Hey, wanna play a game? I'll be Oscar Pistorius. You can be his wife. Starting with the absolute basics. One of the biggest problems you're going to have to contend with is rain. And even something as simple as keeping dry and warm can be a problem when you're away from shelter. But to avoid getting wet clothing, you can take cover under oval-shaped or large trees. Furthermore, the direction of the rain can change, meaning you can use taller trees or even landscapes to keep dry. But if you do get wet, you'll need a fire to dry off. The best way to do this, and the only way I recommend, is to build one in the daytime. Try to build it next to a tree or something large enough to cover its plume. If you build one under large trees like this, you can actually use the branches above to contain the smoke, lowering its profile even more. Also, when using a fire, if your goal is to specifically dry clothing, removing them and placing them next to the fire will dry them quicker than keeping them on you and sitting next to it. Alternatively, if you find yourself wet but don't want to build a fire, by placing your clothing in your hand, you'll get the option to wring them out, reducing them to damp status. And remember that soaked clothing reduces insulation, increases the chance of sickness, and even wet items can be rendered less effective, with a wet box of matches being unable to light a fire. Once you've been in an area for a few minutes, you can almost guarantee there will be mushrooms spawning nearby for you to eat. Just check some local woodland, which also means if you're entering a new area and encounter them, this can be an indication other players are nearby and in the area. And remember, if you have to stop in bushes and never lay down in grass, because grass can despawn after a few meters. And when traveling, sunglasses can keep those pesky sun rays out your eyes, giving you a much clearer view of the woodland around you. And while traveling, if you fall down something or manage to break a leg, you won't be able to walk until you craft a splint, which can be crafted by combining 2 sticks and a rag, but your speed will take a hit for around 15 minutes while it heals. Fishing without bait can increase your chance of catching boots, a compass, or a pot. However, fishing in the mornings and evenings can also increase your chance of catching fish, whereas fishing in the middle of the day can do the opposite. And when you do fish, always make sure you're fishing in the tall grass and not in the open like this. It leaves you really vulnerable with slow reaction times. The new GPS will automatically tell you your coordinates, which is more useful when using a map. The map has a grid, and using the GPS coordinates will allow you to determine exactly where you are on it. And if you have a compass, north will be displayed too, as will the direction you're facing. To create this leather backpack, skin an animal larger than a chicken for a pelt. Then combine it with a bag of garden lime. This will give you tanned leather. Next, just use a leather kit with the tanned leather to actually craft it. It will cost you 2 tanned leather. But one of the biggest things you need to know to be a true survival specialist is how to rely on yourself and your skills. And for the full guide on that, click here. And as always, until next time.